So my study was a desk-based piece of research carried out on behalf of Barnardo's, looking at existing evidence in relation to children's lives now and in the future. So a really important aspect of that, of course, was the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on children's lives in the short and longer term. So one of the key messages from research on the pandemic is that it both illuminated and amplified existing inequalities. So an important aspect of this study was trying to map out the impact of existing inequalities on the lives and life chances of children in Ireland. So as part of the study, I looked at children who disadvantaged, or looked at the existing evidence on children who are disadvantaged under the various equality grounds in Ireland, including socioeconomic inequality. And I suppose what's really striking in relation to that evidence is kind of the intersection of these inequalities in the lives of children, creating complex inequalities. And existing evidence from reports and research studies in the Irish context point to the role of structural, institutional and personal discrimination in shaping these complex inequalities. So to take the example of children of migrant background, we can look, we see kind of policies in relation to habitual residency, the impact of inadequate resourcing of English language provision and mother tongue supports in Irish schools, for example, in conjunction with housing discrimination, as well as risks around racialised bullying and harassment. Looking at the evidence in relation to the impact of the pandemic, we see that there was a disproportionate impact internationally and in the evidence from Ireland on children from racialised minority and or migrant background. So while that's just one example of intersecting inequalities, it does point to, I suppose, what is a very clear message from this study is that monitoring and addressing inequalities in the lives of children must be a central aspect of child policy in the recovery from the pandemic and beyond.